Hello, Tigger. It's time to sleep. I know. Don't look at me like that. You're good. Okay, hold on. Rockod. Rockod. I love you too. Not as much as you love fish. Oh, it's purring. That's so cute. Alright. Now. Time to fly. So let's go on a little tour of my Minecraft base here. In fact, I've got the perfect place to stand while we do it. Oh, need to go higher. There's the platform. Come around. I must be the most nimble pilot. Ta-da! Okay, so this is my base. It's kind of laid out in a unique way. Let me get my pointing hand here. So down here, that stack right there is two different farms stacked on top of each other. One is a wheat farm and the other is a beet farm. Good combination, right? So I've got a villager inside of each one with wheat planted in, I think, the lower one, and beets planted in the upper level. Here we can even zoom in a little bit and you can kind of see, yep, those are beets in there. There's a little villager wandering around. He picks beets for me and drops them, and then I have a minecart that picks them all up, and they go down through those hoppers into that loading cart there. In fact, here it comes. So this minecart comes up, it picks up all the beets, and then it goes back along this path here over to this area, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then the same thing happens on the lower level. You just can't see it very well from this angle, but that yellow line is where it picks up the wheat. It's kind of sort of color-coded. It's not perfect. Then next to it there, those two farms that look like chessboards in the background, those are my pumpkin and melon farms. The melon farm is the green one, and then the blue one is pumpkins, because orange was already taken, and that's where my crops grow. So the melons and pumpkins grow underneath that checkerboard, and then you just saw one of those lights flash up. So one of the detectors saw that a pumpkin had grown, and all those light gray blocks are pistons. In fact, here, let me pull up this will help us see even better. Yes, those light gray blocks are pistons. They push down, break the melon or pumpkin, and then it gets picked up by a minecart underground. You can see those minecart tracks go underground. They pick up the melons and pumpkins, and then they follow the cart back to the super secret building that we'll talk about in a minute. Then over here, we have what is that one? That one is, I can't remember. Potatoes. Yes. Maybe. I think so. Those look a lot like beets. But they're not beets. Unless they tricked me and they switched out the plants. Those should be potatoes. And those are carrots. Same kind of farm like over here. Just over here. Whoa. Why is there a lot of ground on the ground there? That's a little weird, but that should be carrots. And once again, they all load up into this building. So let's finally talk about this building. It's very hard to see from here, but all along this wall here and this wall here, there are villagers. In fact, we'll fly over there in a minute. But those villagers are ready to trade for all the different things that we are loading up from these minecarts. So these minecarts empty out into some storage containers over here. And then the player can go up, grab the items they want, take them to one of the villagers and trade them for emeralds. And then the emeralds can be traded for other things that the villager has. Then, and we'll go look at that in detail in a minute. Over here is what's called a villager breeder. Right now we're far enough away that you can't see them inside it. They aren't loaded up right now. But inside are two farmers, and all they do is farm carrots and make babies, and the babies fall down a hole, and they're all inside there. We'll go look at those in a little bit too. And then right here, none of that's loading in because we're too far away again, but this is my iron farm. So underneath this little stone roof, there are 3 villagers sitting, and in that minecart right there, whoa, this is very fast moving, there's a zombie. You can't see him, he's invisible because we're too far away, but there's a zombie in there, and he scares the villagers. And when the villagers get scared, they spawn what's called an iron golem, and that iron golem will show up, and he tries to be their protector. And when he goes to attack the zombie, he gets caught in this water and falls down that hole where he dies, and then the iron that he is made out of is collected. It's a very useful tool, a little cruel, but necessary. This over here is a very weird looking bee farm, which we'll go take a look at in a minute. Then over here, this is my main base. So that window you can see down at the bottom, that is kind of where my first base was. And I lived there for a very long time. In fact, until I beat the game. And then after I finally beat the game, I felt the need to have kind of a bigger base to kind of accommodate the more end game features. So I built this new base up here, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Over to the side, this is my sugarcane farm. Sugarcane can be turned into paper. Paper is an important ingredient for making books, which you can use to record enchantments and then put enchantments on tools. It's also really useful for creating rockets. Rockets, like I have right here, are what make you fly if you have a pair of wings on. The next farm there, that is a bamboo farm. We can actually kind of see the bamboo right now. Yep, there's little bamboo stalks. And as they grow, when they get tall enough to see that extended block, or that observer block, when it gets that tall, ooh, you just saw that piece grow. When it grows up one higher, it will get seen by the observer block, and then the row of pistons underneath will push it, breaking it, and then a minecart collects the broken pieces, and they all go down to the bottom here where they feed this thing. This is my super smelter. So it's a cooker, a giant cooker, and the bamboo is the fuel source for it. And this thing next to it is a cactus farm. It's all really passive and simple. Cactus can't grow if anything is touching it, and if it grows into a space where there's something next to it, it immediately breaks. So when any of these cacti grow 1 block taller, they instantly break, and that broken piece falls down into the water stream, falls all the way down to the bottom there, and right now it's being loaded up into the super smelter, which creates, in fact, that piston just fired. We can't see it, but that just sent a minecart out to fill this thing up with more, yeah, there it goes again, with more cactus, which it currently is smelting into green dye, which I don't really need a whole lot of green dye. The actual purpose of it is to create XP, because you get experience points anytime you smelt something. And so this is kind of like a storage bank for all my XP. A couple other things. That right there is a tree farm, and it's a very manual farm. You plant a big tree on it, then you climb all the way up the tree. It grows up pretty tall, and you climb to the top of the tree, and you cut it all down, and all the broken pieces land in the water, and then they feed into a chest. And right there is where I keep like chickens and some sheep and a cow, but you can't see them right now because we're too far away. And straight down there below us is my slime farm. Down there is a space where slime creatures spawn, and then they die, and I collect their bits. And that's the majority of the base you can see right now. So let's fly down. We'll start by taking a look at this trading space where I trade with villagers. So here you can see this is where all the food comes in. It arrives from the mine carts and gets deposited here, drops down into the chest. Here are all my carrots. I was right, brown is potatoes. And randomly beets. I don't know how that happened. I'm really curious now. There are beets! How did this happen? Where did all the potatoes go? What? What? I don't understand. Somehow all my beets have been, or all my potatoes have been replaced with beets. So there should only be potatoes coming here. Then this is the big cash cow, is melons. Melons get me a lot of emeralds. So just to give you an example. So let's say I took a couple of melons here. And I could go up to this guy and say, hey, I will trade you 2 melons for 2 emeralds. And then I can use these emeralds to buy things like, ooh, I want some golden carrots. So I'll trade 2 emeralds for 6 golden carrots. And I get a little experience for doing it. But then there are pumpkins, there's wheat, there's my original beet farm now that I have a new beet farm. And then I've got all these different villagers who trade for the different fruits and veggies that I grow. And over here are some other villagers that I can trade these emeralds that I earn with. So this guy is a Fletcher. I can buy arrows from him. I can buy bows from him. Pretty handy guy. This is a weaponsmith, so I can trade to get swords, axes, etc. from him. Toolsmith. I can get axes or pickaxes. A cartographer. I can get maps from. That's pretty cool. I need to level him up a little more. And then a mason I can trade for more rare building blocks. So that's what these guys are. Let's go sleep, because when it gets dark, it gets dangerous. We'll go sleep real quick, and then we will head back. Yes, hi Tigger. You're very cute. And we're refreshed. Ready for another day. Let's go look at the rest of the farm here. Farm. It's a base. It's a base with farms. Over here, this is the villager breeder. This is where the 2 farmers in love live. They make babies. That's a thing that they do. And their babies try to go jump on these beds, because that's a thing that rotten children do. They try to jump on beds. But when they run across this gap to get to the beds, they accidentally fall down in the hole. And oh boy, there's a lot of them down there. Something's not right there. I'm gonna go fix that. So let's go look at the inside of my villager breeder. So, we'll talk about him in a minute. That thing that just groaned at us. But this is where all my villagers go. Oh, there's just so many of them now. So let's walk through the process. Let's see, do I have one? I don't know. So if we want to turn a villager into a useful villager, we press this button and it picks up a villager for us. He goes for a nice little ride. He goes all the way down this tunnel and bloop, he goes into that spot right there where he gets attacked by a zombie. For a reason, we want to turn him into a zombie villager. So we'll press this button and uh-oh, he died. Whoops. That can happen sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. We know what to do. So let's try this again. I just realized that might not be great. Oh, well, we got 2. Hey, there goes another villager. Oh, wait, that's going to be a problem. Now we're hoping that he gets turned into what's called a zombie villager. And the reason for that is that if you turn a villager into a zombie and then cure him, which is a very nice thing to do, of course, he will actually give you much better deals when you shop with him than if he had just been a regular villager. So that's what the point of this machine is. We drop him next to the zombie hopefully turns him into a zombie villager. Let's find out here. Okay, and nope. This is why we grow a lot of them. Let's go try another one. But yeah, so the zombie will turn it into a zombie villager. Then there's a special process we use to cure that villager. And once we do, all his prices mysteriously get lower. Okay, well, we're not going to keep doing this because, yeah, this isn't fun. Failure is not fun. So that's a process that sometimes works. Now, let's go take a look at the rest of the base. Oh, and I never explained what that is. That is a beacon. A beacon is used to grant you extra abilities like, say, being able to mine faster or things like that. Oh, the other thing we didn't look at is my storage pit. So this place over here is where I store items I have a lot of. So I have a lot of stone. I have a lot of dirt. So I use this pit to store them in. Let's go take a look. So this is my lovely storage pit. And you can see along this wall here, I have specific items laid out. Stone, cobblestone, andesite, gravel, granite, dirt. A lot of basic building blocks. And you'll see in here, there are chests just filled up with those items. In fact, I have a lot of stone. That's a couple double chests worth here. And then I have things like different ores, which I don't have a ton of yet. But as I add them to the system, they'll go in. And then these are mushroom blocks, which I have a decent amount of. And that's about it. I haven't really made a lot of use of this mass storage system yet. Oh, there's a random shulker box down here. A shulker box is a box that you can store things and then pick the box up and carry it with you. It's very handy. So how the system works is, if we go back over here, you can see there are two lines that come down here. Those are two tunnel shafts that drop items down in here. We'll talk about the process of dropping things down in here later, but just know they drop things down in here. When those items come down in here, they end up inside this system back here. So on the other side of this rock wall, there is a long circular stream of water. It's just a water path that circles round and around, and items float in it. And when they go past these little hoppers here, they can only go into ones that are specifically matching them. So this one has stone in it. So if it's an item that is stone, it will go in there. These other things are called filters. So there's no naturally occurring stone called filters. So it won't stack up onto that pile, but more stone can add to this pile up here, all the way up to 64. So anytime another piece of stone gets added, this system will draw it down through and drop it down into the chest. This is called an item filter. So we have another one for stone. This is a filter for cobblestone, and so on and so on. So these filters are redstone devices. Redstone is kind of like electrical, but in Minecraft. So think of them as electronic devices that filter out the items that we want to store and let the other ones keep going. That's what this system does. It filters out the things we want and puts them where we want them. So it's an automatic sorter for all the storage items we want to store that we send down here. So let's go back up to the top and we'll take a look at how we send stuff down there. So here it's really simple. We put the items we want in there and this will do some stuff with them. So if we go down into the system, this is actually a pretty complicated piece of machinery, but what it does is it lets you either put in a box of items, one of these shulker boxes, and it will then empty that box and send the box back up to you. Or if you just put raw items in it, it will send the raw items down in. And eventually the items end up in this chest, and then they can go to one of these two dispensers, which drop them into those shafts that we saw earlier and send it down to the storage system. There's two droppers just because it increases the speed. You've got two systems firing at once instead of one. It helps empty your items faster. But this is the box where if I put, like here, I know that I have storage for dirt in there. So I will take this shulker box, and I'm going to drop it in here. So now it loaded in the system. The system is emptying it and dropping the items that came out of it. And now the box is broken and it got sent up here, and here's my empty box back. It's a pretty cool system. If you're working on really big projects with really large quantities of items, it's a really nice way to get stuff back. But now let's take a look at my base. So we're going to start down in the old base. This has been redecorated by James, my lovely son, who loves playing Minecraft with me. And he went all out with the new items from the most recent Minecraft update, 1.17, which introduced these purple blocks. They are geodes. They, what's the actual name of the block here? It is amethyst. So that is an amethyst block, part of the amethyst geodes that are now part of the world. Which is pretty exciting. They are new. And then candles are also new. These are moss blocks, also new. These are dripstone, which is basically stalactites and stalagmites, also new. These are new plants that have been added. So he's really gone all out adding these new update stuff. Oh, and those are the crystals that can grow inside the geodes. So yeah, he's really gone all out decorating. But this used to be my main base. This was my super smelter, renamed the somewhat super smelter because it's not so super anymore. And I used to load this up to turn blocks into other blocks by adding heat. It's science. This was my enchanting room. So this is an enchanting table. You can put an item on it like a tool. Like I could put my sword on there. And then if I add a special ingredient, it would add special effects to it, just like this list here of the different effects that it has. So my sword, which is called Razor, has sweeping edge, it has mending, it has sharpness, looting, and unbreaking. And those are all just different enchantments that enhance the properties of the weapon. And this is where I used to store all my spell books that had those enchantments on it. So if you wanted, instead of enchanting the item directly, you could enchant a book and then use that book to apply the enchantment later. It was kind of a way to save enchantments. You can also find enchanted books out in the universe. So just another way to get enchantments. And this is where I would store the energy source you need to do the enchantment, which is lapis lazuli, actually, a very pretty blue block. And then over here, these are all the different workbenches and work tools used to do things. This is a crafting bench, so you can choose the thing you want to make. And if you have the right ingredients for it, you can make it. This is a smoker, so, oh, there's some cooked chicken in there. How nice. So this is used for cooking meat. So you can put chicken in it, add a fuel source, and you get cooked chicken. Very handy. This is an anvil. It's used to repair tools. Like if my pickaxe was broken, I could add another pickaxe and repair it. You can also use it to change the name of things, which I should probably do at some point because I don't have a name for this pickaxe. And like this is a stone cutter. So if I put a block of stone in here, I could cut it into a stair block or a wall block. This is a grindstone. All it really does right now is it can do some repairs, but it also can disenchant. So let's say I have a tool and I don't like the enchantments on it. They're just not good ones, or they weren't the ones I wanted. I can put it in there and remove the enchantments and start over. Kind of handy. And then this is a brewing stand. Use it to make potions that can heal you or say give you night vision or invisibility, all kinds of cool stuff. And then this was my tiny, tiny little farm. I was growing some different crops here. This is a crop that you use for making potions. It's called netherwort. And this is my record player. So how it works is you can find these music discs sometimes in loot chests. Sometimes you can get it from killing certain enemies. But you put them in the record player and... Oh. I hit the wrong button. That's on me. Let's try that again. Yeah, now we can dance. Ooh, yeah. This is my jam right here. I love this song. Almost as much as I love not listening to this song. Let's stop. So that's what that is. Trash only. This is pretty great. I designed this system so all it does is you put items in it and it drops those items into lava and destroys them. It's my trash can. You can hear the little burning hiss as the items are destroyed. I love it. So yeah, this was my old base. And it served me really well until I decided that I didn't want to use it anymore. And so I love that he's put moss as the floor all over here. It's just ridiculous. Instead, I built this base as my new base. And I kind of designed it, one, to look pretty. I really like these Hermitcraft inspired kind of like, I don't even know what you call them, like hanging plants. I got the idea from a YouTuber called Grian who builds some cool stuff, and he had a barge that had these in it, and it looked really cool. So now I have a big storage system here where I store all the things I use a lot, like different metal materials, gold, iron, ingots, nuggets. This is where I store a lot of tools, although in this case a lot of the tools are in smaller boxes because I have so many of them. Arrows. These are called ender pearls. They're a thing that you can use to teleport. They're actually kind of handy. So here I'll demonstrate. So you throw it and then you teleport wherever it lands. Pretty simple. I have a lot of those because there's a farm I have that generates these as a byproduct. I don't actually want them. I'm using that farm to get experience points, but it gives me those, so I have a lot of them. This is my redstone box, so all the components I use to build redstone contraptions, which, like I mentioned earlier, are kind of the equivalent to electronics. And then these are minecart rails and minecarts that I use within some of those redstone systems. This is where I store all my wood stuff. This is where I store blocks that I get from another dimension called the End. And this is where I store stuff that I get from the third dimension in Minecraft called the Nether. The Nether is basically hell. It's a pretty scary place. I store some miscellaneous stuff in here. You get the idea. Lots of storage here. And then I have those same workbenches that I have downstairs, only they're up here now. I have a lot of anvils because they break pretty quickly. Back here I have my little pet pesky burb. Hello, pesky burb. He's a cute little burb. And Jamie put a potted plant next to him because he could. And over here is my bed and Tigger the cat. Yes, hi Tigger. Meow. And this is my new enchanting table. So here you can see I have a lot of enchanted books. So each one has a different enchantment saved on it that I could then apply to tools or equipment later on. And here's some of that lapis lazuli you use within the enchantment table to power it. Then I have some books and bookshelves and other things stored over here. And this is a table Jamer and I have started to put together this collection of different heads of things that we've killed and collected. And I think there's a few more in here. Yeah, we have a few more in there too. And then over here is my portal that takes me to the Nether, which we can go check out in a little bit. And then this is my map of my base. So it shows the pit where I store everything, my farms, my home base. I call the trading area the stock exchange. My slime farm, my different farms, tree farm. And then one thing we haven't seen, but it's out there, is my creeper farm. It's what I use to get gunpowder, which is the other ingredient to make rockets. Rockets are very important. Oh, gotta eat. And I've gotta sleep. It's getting dark. When it's dark, it's dangerous. That's when scary things come out and try to attack you. So we don't like when it's dark. So let's go sleep. I'm sleeping on the floor. I've never seen that happen before. That was crazy. All right. So let's go check out the Nether real quick. The Nether is a really important dimension in Minecraft. Not just because of the things that can be found there, but because there's something unique about the Nether in that space in the Nether doesn't line up with space in the overworld, in the main world. It's on a 1:8 ratio. So for every one block that I move here in the Nether, I'm corresponding to 8 blocks in that same direction in the overworld. So it can make travel long distances a lot faster. So what I've done up here, this is actually above the nether. So down beneath, this is called bedrock. Beneath this is where the actual nether is. But I used a trick to get up here, and I've built some stuff up here because it's safe. These scary creatures that live in the nether can't get up here unless I place blocks in a certain way that would allow them to. So I have my portals to go to different places up here. That way I can travel quickly between those places safely. So for instance, I have another portal over here to where I'm able to access the end, the other dimension. And so I themed it to look like the end. If I go to the end, you'll see that this is a pretty good representation of it. I try to decorate my portals because I think it's cool. And then if we fly back over, I have these torches so I can always see which way I'm going. Like another portal I have over here. Let's go over here. So this is a portal to another base I'm building. And it's just themed to look like that base. So if I go through this portal real quick, we won't pop out where we came from. We'll pop out at this base I'm building. This is a pretty cool base. I'll just give you a quick peek at it. It is a big floating ring, kind of inspired by Apple's new headquarters, but it's not done. I kind of lost momentum when working on this and decided to come back to it at a later time. So not a lot to see here, but it's cool. And if I were to have stayed there and flown back to my base, it would have taken a couple minutes rather than a couple of seconds like it does here in the nether. It's really handy to use the nether for travel. So this is getting a bit long. It looks like we're half an hour into this, so I'm going to go ahead and call it quits. But hopefully that was a cool little overview of my Minecraft world and kind of what I'm doing in it and why I'm doing those things. And for me, it's a good test of this new software that I'm checking out and my new microphone. Oh, hello, bees. This is my bee farm. Well, that is not what I meant to do. No, stop that. Ooh, bees give me honeycomb. Honeycomb is very nice. They can also give me straight up honey. I might change one of these to be a honey bottle farm instead of a honeycomb farm, but I'm not there yet. Yes, bees, you are very cute. All right, so that'll do it for now. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.